Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. I'm Jennifer Woods, and I work for New Chapter Vitamins. I've been working with them for 10 years now, and have been trained by some of the best naturopathic doctors, I believe, out there. I have been in the vitamin industry for 18 years selling supplements, and so have a lot of information available for you tonight. But we're going to go through tonight, we are actually talking about inflammation. And we're talking about inflammation because inflammation is at the root of many different diseases that we actually experience. So moving forward, let me just describe to you what it is. Inflammation is itis. So anything that you see up here listed on this board is a condition of inflammation. Arthritis, bronchitis, sinusitis, gastritis, esophagitis, pancreatitis, meningitis, rhinitis, and gingivitis. Those are all conditions. Anytime you see an itis at the end of any word or disease condition, it means it's a specific state of inflammation in the body. Inflammation is really quite complicated, and it's really multifaceted. There's a lot of factors that feed inflammation in our bodies. So there's physical forces. If we exercise more, immediately following that exercise, we're going to have more inflammation. So that's just a normal response that our body actually has. Infectious agents in our body actually increase inflammation. Stress is actually a huge precursor to inflammation in the body. If you're out there and you're working too hard and you're not taking enough time for you, you're going to have a chronic state of inflammation in your body. And when we're talking about inflammation tonight, it's really important to remember that it's not necessarily inflammation that you feel. Silent inflammation is the most dangerous of all. And when I say silent, it means the kind that does not manifest itself as pain. It can, but not always. So free radicals, so if you're not getting enough antioxidant support in your body, you'll have more inflammation. If you eat a diet that is high in fat or glucose, meaning sugar, you're obviously going to have more inflammation. Environmental pollutants and cigarette smoke. So on a bad windy day when there's too much in the air, airborne allergens can create more inflammation in our bodies. And aging. As we age, as all those vital hormones in our bodies start to go down, we naturally have more inflammation because things like testosterone and estrogen, as we lose some of those vital levels of those hormones, they are anti-inflammatory. So the good ones are anti-inflammatory. The bad ones, like dihydrotestosterone and the two bad estrogens, actually increase inflammation, and we have more of those as we age. So chronically, we're going to have more inflammation just by getting older. So here's kind of the way that this works is I'm showing you a little tiny piece of what's known as the inflammatory cascade. If you eat more trans fats, more oxidized fats, and dietary fat in general, even excess levels of omega-6, meaning we know that we get that in lots of dietary sources, it creates what's known as arachidonic acid in our body. And the two evil enzymes that create the most destruction in our bodies are actually the 5-lipoxygenase, which LOX is short for that, and cyclooxygenase, which is COX. So those two enzymes I kind of consider to be the evil enzymes, and they fuel a whole lot of negative reactions in our body. All right, so arachidonic acid, just to reiterate, which is created from a diet that's excess in bad fat, is the fuel for these two evil enzymes. So COX and LOX are COX or LOX is the match, and the inflammation is the fire. Unfortunately, no one single pharmaceutical agent can effectively target all of these inflammation components simultaneously. So this is a statement that was made by Dr. Robert Newman, who was the lead pharmacologist at MD Anderson Cancer Center. The way that the pharmaceuticals actually work, the non-steroidal anti-inflammatories and some of the other popular drugs that have been out there, you kind of have to imagine that the inflammatory cascade is like a freeway system. So you have all these different ways that you can get to your destination. Say there's 5 different freeways that you can take. Well, the pharmaceuticals, what they do is Imagine there's an accident on one of those freeways. Then there's tons of traffic going down all those four other routes. And with pharmaceuticals so far, they have not been able to find something that is multitasking in its ability to inhibit traffic on all of those freeways. So they create more traffic on the four other ones, and then we get more accidents, right? So some of the major non-steroidal anti-inflammatories cause a lot of other issues and have a whole list of side effects when you read about them. So the solution, the complexity of the problem requires a complex solution. Whole foods, herbs, spices contain nature's richest source of chemically diverse, non-selective inflammatory modulators. So first and foremost, when you think about any program, if you're actually going to want to feel better, is what are you putting in your body? Where do we begin? And we begin with our food and what we're eating and taking into our body. So 6 of the leading causes of death among Americans are diet-related, including heart disease, cancer, stroke, diabetes, chronic liver disease, and arterial sclerosis. And interestingly enough, they are all also driven by inflammation. So we know that a diet that's based in fruits and vegetables, actually people who even just increase their dietary intake by 1 serving a week have a longer survival rate.